Randy, where is Aiden right now compared to where you thought he'd be in the offseason?
Yeah, it's funny how things happen. Last year we went into the season, he was going to be one of our weekend starters, and his shoulder got a little sore right before the season started, so we pushed him to the bullpen, and that gave some other guys an opportunity to start, and they pitched really well when they got the opportunity to start. We went into this season with Mage as a bullpen guy, and had an injury right before the season started, and that put him in the weekend rotation, and he's just been super lights out ever since. Just can't say enough about how he's done, and we talk about it all the time, taking advantage of opportunities. He got an opportunity to prove to me and everybody that he's a quality Big 12 starter, and let me just tell you about that BYU team over there. That's a really good offensive team, a really good team. When this whole thing shakes out and this season's over, they're going to be one of the top 3 hitting teams in this league, I feel certain. So they smashed a lot of balls today. We did too, but they can really hit. They're scary.
Aiden kind of rising to the occasion this year like he has. It's kind of what you expect out of one of your more veteran guys, though, right?
Yeah, it's hard to have a guy these days that's in his 3rd year in the program. That's almost non-existent anymore. And he's learned and learned and learned. He's always had good stuff, but you have to learn how to win games. And he's still learning, but he's made great progress as far as winning games. When I went out there to talk to him in the 8th inning with 2 outs, he said, "Do not take me out. I got this guy. I got this guy." And his pitch count was still lower than it was the weekend before, so it wasn't a pitch count issue, and he was still throwing good. They can really hit. So the fact that he gave up 2 homers, there's nothing to be ashamed of there, because they're going to hit a lot.
Coach, you said when you're starting this season, you still had him plugged in for the bullpen. Did you just feel more comfortable with him and the bullpen at that point because of what he did last year, or was there something you were still waiting to see from him at that point?
Well, we know how good of a pitcher he is.
Right.
Because you're in the bullpen doesn't mean you're not one of the best pitchers on the team. Being in the bullpen means that you get to pitch twice in the weekend instead of once. So going to the bullpen sometimes is a compliment. That was a compliment to him, because not many guys can pitch on Friday and come back and pitch on Sunday, and he can do that. Yeah. So, he would have been really good in the pen, but he's been really good as a starter too.
You talked about Aiden kind of fighting for himself to stay in there. I think it was the inning before when you went out at one point. Kyle West, I saw, kind of shaking you off, like, no, don't take him out. I mean, the guys behind him and around him, they're fighting for him too.
No, see, that's when you guys watch the game from over there, you have no idea what we're talking about. That's not what we were talking about. I thought the guy who hit the ball off the fence passed the runner at first base, and he was saying no, he didn't. Okay. So, but yeah, Kyle West he's into the game. It was a huge hit for us. I mean, you get up on these guys 6-0, they can score 6 runs so fast to make your head spin. So the bases loaded hit he had off their best reliever was a huge hit. We'll see that guy again tomorrow. You just got to keep going. No runs are enough against this team.
Back to you talking about opportunities, Spencer there, kind of with all the injuries, he's been forced to kind of play a lot early. What have you seen from him? And then today, obviously, big at the bottom of the lineup there.
Yeah, he's been super solid. I mean, usually these first 20 games, I'm trying to find opportunities to get young guys in the game. That's easy this year because half the team's out with injuries, so it's easy to get young guys in the game. And he's been really solid, played great defense. He's gotten some big hits for us, and that bodes well for the future.
Coach, Big 12 opener, so obviously there's great importance on this game. You go into it. JJ's been out for a few games now. Logan and Grant very recently. All of this stuff, you can't plan on it. So when you're going into this game, what's running through your mind when you're seeing 3 guys out?
Depression, sadness, anxiety. No, it's just I enjoy watching these guys play. We had a lot of fans here today, but there's nobody that's a bigger fan of these kids than I am. So the opportunity to watch guys that don't get many opportunities get their opportunities. That's fun for me.
Yeah.
And you can complain about injuries. That's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Complaining about injuries isn't going to help you. You just got to, the guys that are in the lineup, guys that are in the game, have to win the game. I mean, we bring these guys here for a reason. Just because you're a backup to JJ and Salve and Hussey doesn't mean you're not a good player.
Yeah.
It just means you're getting an opportunity probably a lot earlier than you thought. So I've never gone into a game thinking anything other than we got this.
Yeah.
And regardless of the lineup, tomorrow I'll say the same thing. We got this.
And with Aiden, I mean, even when he was a freshman, velocity was never really an issue with him. Is command much better this year, though?
Absolutely. He's throwing his fastball on both sides of the plate. He's throwing 2 different breaking balls now. His changeup's his best pitch, and we didn't throw it that much today because we didn't need to. But yeah, he's just doing everything you're supposed to do to win games. And like I said, that team right there is going to beat a lot of pitchers in our league. So that was just, you'll see when they get to smashing the baseball in the next couple of weeks, then you'll look back and say, dang, H must have been pretty good that night.
Big announcement today with the donation and the gift from Ken Kendrick and renaming of the stadium and things like that. What does something like that mean to this program moving forward?
You know, it means the world. It's when we built the facility, the program, the stadium, the program obviously made a big jump because you built the facility, and now with this facility, we'll probably be one of only 6 or 7 programs in the country that have the technology and the resources that are going to go into that facility, and that's going to make a huge difference in the program. If you knew who the other 6 programs were that had what we're getting ready to have, they're the programs you see playing in June a lot of the time. So it's special thanks to Ken for doing it. His vision for the future of Mountaineer baseball matches mine, matches Rick Wagner's, matched Oliver Luck's and Kelly Zinn's. So without people like that, you can't function. So that's what it takes. It takes the Ken Kendricks of the world and the Rick Wagners of the world to bring this to fruition. But when that thing's finished, it's going to be something special. So special thanks to all those guys.
The technology you're talking about, that's something similar to like what Vanderbilt has, right?
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, I'm sorry, yep.
Yeah, Wake Forest. Everybody talks about their pitching lab. And Tom Walter's a great friend of mine. We grew up together, the head coach at Wake Forest. And when we played in the region there in 2017, he showed me around their lab and what they do. And now we're going to have what they have. Fast forward 7 years, look where Wake Forest program's at because of it. So fast forward 7 years, good luck finding me because I won't be anywhere to be found. I'm kidding. But hopefully 7 years from now, you'll be talking about West Virginia baseball like people were talking about Wake Forest baseball right now. That's the plan moving forward.
Coach, one of your quotes I've always remembered is about Manoah, and you've always said Manoah wasn't Manoah until his junior year. A couple years from now, do you think you'll be saying, Aiden wasn't Aiden until his junior year?
I mean, one of my other quotes is, "Don't ever be afraid to overstate the obvious," and that's what you just did. Yeah. He obviously is way better of a pitcher right now than he was back then. Like you said, his stuff is no different.
Yeah.
He's not throwing harder. He doesn't have better stuff. He's just a veteran kid that has learned and developed and now knows how to win. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's really, if it was easy, a lot more people would do it.
JJ kind of looks like he's walking around a little bit better. Any getting closer with him at all? Or?
JJ and I raced the other day, and I beat him.
Okay.
Right now, I can beat Weatherholt, Salve, and Hussey in a race. So they're not ready to play.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they're. Everybody asks me what the progress is on them. I say today they're better than they were yesterday,
right.
And tomorrow they'll be better than they were today. That's all I know at this point.
How long was the race?
It doesn't matter.
On the donation, did you get to break that news to Steve? Did you guys hear at the same time? How did that go?
Steve Sabins?
Yeah.
This has been in the works for a long time. I've visited with Ken Kendrick maybe the first month I took the job 12 years ago, Oliver and I went out there and met Ken for the first time. And at that point, I just wanted to get to know Ken and see what his vision for West Virginia baseball was. And he wanted to see what mine was. And we established that relationship, and we've stayed in touch. And we've gone out there and played a couple times. And I'm a relationship guy, and I appreciate the generosity of Ken and Rick and those guys financially, but I appreciate their friendship and their loyalty to this program a lot more, because that'll be here long after the facility.
Good.
Good.
Thank